Hello, welcome to Vnews today and following are the headlines.
Aquatic processing industry needs over 24 trillion Vietnamese dongs. Vietnamese localities try regional local governance. ASEAN-India increase agricultural ties. Floods in Asia threaten food security.
President of the Thai National Assembly, Somsak Suranont, arrived in Hanoi on October 8th, starting his official friendship visit to Vietnam as guest of his Vietnamese counterpart Nguyen Sinh Hung. Suranont is also Speaker of the Thai House of Representatives. His activities will be reported in our upcoming news editors. The Hanoi Union of Friendship Organizations and the Australia Embassy jointly held the Vietnam-Australia Friendship Melody in 2011 Festival in Hanoi on October 8th.
Secretary General of the Vietnam-Australia Friendship Association Nguyễn Đức Hoạt said the festival would help strengthen the friendship between the two countries. The festival drew the participation of young Vietnamese who once studied in Australia and those from the Australian community in Hanoi. The event offered participants a good chance to boost exchanges and learn about cultures of their respective country.
Vietnam Airlines and the Vietnamese Consulate General in Osaka, Japan have worked to promote tourism in Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar, aiming to increase the number of visitors to the four countries by 10% a year.
At a seminar in Osaka, they introduced to Japanese people a program known as Four Nations, One Destination that joined Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos and Myanmar in exploring their tourism and aviation potentials. The seminar was attended by representatives from Vietnamese and international travel agencies, including Cambodian Tourism Ministry and Angkor Air. In the Four Nations, One Destination program, the three Indo-Chinese countries and Myanmar have jointly created a host of special tourist products, attracting a large number of Western, Japanese and North American visitors.
Saigon Thương Tín Joint Stock Commercial Bank, Saigonbank of Vietnam, has been granted a license to establish its first wholly invested bank in Cambodia.
President of Saigonbank Group Đặng Văn Thành said Saigonbank is the first Vietnamese commercial bank that has got a permission to operate along the Cambodian commercial bank system. Saigonbank Cambodia was upgraded from the Phnom Penh branch that Saigonbank set up in 2009. The bank expects to make a profit of $2.8 million this year. It plans to open 70 more branches in addition to the current 3 in key provinces and localities sharing the border with Vietnam in the next 5 years.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has estimated that the aquatic processing industry needs more than 13 trillion Vietnam dong for its development from now to 2015 and 1 trillion Vietnam dong more to 2020.
An investment was outlined in the National Aquatic Processing Development Plan towards 2020. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development said the investment will be mobilized from all economic sectors and via various channels, including domestic and foreign banks, enterprise stocks, and the government as well. In the plan, the ministry targets to make an export of some 2 million tons of processed aquatic products and an export revenue of $10 billion by 2020. In the first 8 months of this year, aquatic products brought home $3.7 billion, a rise of 24.4% year-on-year.
Some urban cities in Vietnam have been applying model governance methods provided by the Partnership for Democratic Local Governance in Southeast Asia to better their public services after 2 years initial outcomes are gained.
The Partnership of Democratic Local Governance in Southeast Asia, called DENGOC, is funded by the European Union. It is a network of associations of local governments, local authorities, non-governmental organizations, and academic institutions in the Philippines, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia. The project aims to enable the participating partners to share the best practices they gained in the four fields: the people's participation in planning and making decisions, institutional governance, urban environment, and fiscal management and investment promotion strategies. In Vietnam, the project supports the implementation of the best practices in urban public services, fiscal management and investment promotion, and institutional governance in Vinh, Da Nang, and Cha Vinh cities. The central city of Da Nang has tried a model of Thailand's Phuket Ancient Quarter Preservation Project to promote economy and increase the community's income. Meanwhile, Cha Vinh City has followed an e-government model of the Indonesian city of Yogyakarta, and Vinh City is implementing an eco-saving program at schools.
Good performance of cooperative social responsibility will bring growth benefit and sustainable development for enterprises. It is especially needed at a time when sustainable development is regarded as an investment for the future of enterprises.
An ongoing seminar opened on October 8th helps Vietnamese businesses to gain a thorough understanding of corporate social responsibility and how to perform it. It is because of the fact that consumers are increasingly aware of the impacts of a production line or products made by a business on the environment and the people's health. Social responsibility forms a foundation for the development of an enterprise. In the short term, enterprises will face difficulties in terms of a huge sum of investment they have to pour in fulfilling their social responsibility. However, in the long term, they will benefit much from what they have done for society, for their better images, sustainable development, and stronger human resources. At the seminar, the participants stressed that enterprises should consider the fulfillment of social responsibility as an investment for the future. Corporate social responsibility is not new, but it still remains an urgent issue for Vietnamese enterprises to deal with when they are integrating into the global economy. It is because it benefits both enterprises and society, and it especially improves the competitiveness of businesses and the country as well in the world market.
Agricultural ministers of Asian countries and India convened their first meeting in Jakarta, Indonesia on October 8th. Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Ttxvn led a Vietnamese delegation to the event.
At the meeting, delegates affirmed their strong support for enhancing cooperation in the spirit of an action plan to implement the ASEAN-India Partnership for Peace, Progress and Shared Prosperity for 2010-2015. The participants welcomed and supported the early implementation of the ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement. They said they hoped the two sides would conclude the negotiation on the Trade Service and Investment Agreement within the framework of the ASEAN-India Free Trade Area. The participants adopted a joint statement at the end of their meeting, affirming their consensus on the establishment of the ASEAN-India Working Group on Agriculture to boost cooperation in agriculture and forestry between the two sides. They welcomed activities to be carried out in the 2011-2012 period, including the adoption of a medium-term action plan on agricultural cooperation between ASEAN and India for the 2011-2015 period.
Recent massive floods have ravaged a huge rice-growing area in Asia, heavily affecting poor farmers' lives and are likely to spark a global fund price hike in the coming time. About 1.5 million hectares of paddy fields in Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia and Laos have been inundated by floods, which are believed to be the worst that have hit the region so far.
Thailand, the largest rice exporter in the world, has suffered the most severe losses. As many as 244 people have died in the floods and about 9 million hectares of paddy, roughly 10% of the total, have been damaged. Cambodia reported that floods had killed more than 160 people and completely destroyed one-third of more than 330,000 hectares of inundated rice paddy. The Mekong Delta rice basket in Vietnam, the world's second-largest rice exporter, has been severely submerged by flood water. In Laos, more than 60,000 hectares of paddy had been damaged. Economists say significant losses in the Mekong River basin would contribute to causing increasing rice price in the world market. Floods have also caused food shortages in other countries in Asia, such as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea and Pakistan.
And that's the end of Vnews today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.